So I haven't made this kind of video in a while. I thought I'd make another video teaching you how to speedrun this abyss and give you some tips. First of all, as you know with Maguu Kenki, you can't really deal damage to him until about 10 seconds, so 9:50 on the clock. So this gives us plenty of time to set up. If you notice here, you can actually use kokomi's jellyfish quite early. This will help us build some small dendro cores early, and it gives quite good timing for Nilou's setup here. Pay attention to the 16 seconds on the cooldown because we'll try to be refreshing her skill perfectly on time. And lastly, by the end of the setup, you can see I'll be refreshing kokomi's jellyfish here. So a lot of dendro cores explode right on time as soon as he's available to take damage. And you can see I deal quite a lot of damage very quickly. The combo I'm doing here on kokomi is N2 dash, so N2D. It has a lot of hydro application. The main issue with it is that you usually run out of stamina quickly, but because this kind of fight is just one enemy and he's standing still, running out of stamina isn't really a problem here. So I have finished phase 1 very quickly, and since he can't take damage anymore, I think now is a good time to use Nahida's burst just for free buffs and invincibility frames. I also use Nilou's burst here for more invincibility frames, and because it has delayed hydro application when you can actually start taking damage. So you can see I have good timing on refreshing Nilou's elemental skill. And I have good timing to dodge his big attack here. This is very important for the Maguu Kenki fight, is if you pay attention, just as he's finishing this attack animation, I run outside with kokomi. This is because if you're outside of his range, when he's deciding to do his next attack, it reduces the chances of him dashing away. So you can see here, instead of dashing away, he does some other attack. And that allows me to quickly finish him off without any extra trouble. So this crab here, if you know, basically you need to deal a lot of hydro application to destroy his pyro shield before you can start really dealing damage to him. So you can see here I set up with Nilou and kokomi. I mix in some charge attacks too, and now his shield is destroyed. And now my team can start dealing damage properly. Again, I try to refresh Nilou's elemental skill as soon as it's off cooldown. And then now finishing off, it's just about switching through the team, using their elemental skills and their bursts, just applying as much elemental application as possible. Now here you'll notice I use kokomi's normal attack and then cancel it with her jellyfish. You can see that's 2 sources of hydro application, so you can see I created 2 dendro cores there. Now you can set up with Nilou to push this other pyro gunner back towards his teammates. And then now they're nicely grouped up that I can easily destroy them. Now lastly, it's these 2 new mechanical fontaine enemies, and they spawn on opposite sides of the map, so you want to reapply Nahida's skill and then damage them both for a bit. But then run towards this guy. This is because, as you'll see, the other enemy will just run towards you, both of you. And again, if you remember, just like with the other chambers, it's all about trying your best to reapply Nilou's skill as soon as it's available off cooldown. It's good to get this RNG to where the enemies are pushing against each other. You can see like this, they're both taking so much damage from each other's dendro cores, so it's very easy to dispatch this chamber very quickly. I've covered this before, but a very common question is asking, is Flower of Paradise Lost full set better than a mixed 2-piece HP set? And it's quite simple. Flower of Paradise Lost has a higher ceiling, especially if you can get a lot of HP and flat HP substats on your pieces. You can see I have 71k HP, which is about 3,000 less HP than you would have with the mix sets. But because I'm able to get a HP card, as you can see, I already hit the cap for her buff. So I'm just fully benefiting from the extra damage at that point. With Nahida, a lot of people also ask, is building for crit better than stacking EM in Bloom teams? And with Nahida, you just want a good balance of crit, elemental mastery. Generally, I just recommend using whichever pieces have the best substats on her. You can see I'm using a Dendro Goblet with good substats and a crit rate circlet with great substats, so that's why I'm using this. If you have better substats on EM pieces, then you can use that. But overall, I definitely don't think she needs to have as much EM as possible. Also, if you didn't know, her signature weapon isn't even really an upgrade over Widsith, so if you have that, you can use that instead. For Kokomi, obviously 25k HP is very low. It's definitely very dangerous at this amount of HP, so you can go higher, whichever is more comfortable for you. But this is obviously the maximum damage for me. And also this energy recharge is kind of overkill, you don't need this much. But as you'll see, these are just the pieces I have. I just have very good substats. And then lastly with Collei, I'm sure all you guys know already, but you don't need EM on her, you can just stack energy recharge and crit. And also I only have C3, but if you have her C4 and her C6, that helps the team a lot. So if you have that, you might even be able to clear even faster than I did. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful, and thanks for watching.